So let's go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S23 and compare it against the iPhone 11 and see which specific phone you should go and pick up. Now, definitely the iPhone 11 is starting to show its age a little bit, but I love both these phones, and let's go and see how they compare. If you want to pick up either one of these devices, the links will be down in the description. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can definitely tell the iPhone 11 and the S23 kind of look a little different. The iPhone 11 came out back in 2019, and it's pretty crazy because it's still a pretty good looking phone. I think it still looks pretty good for how old this phone is. In this day and age, you have a 6.1 inch IPS panel on the front, and I think that's a great thing that this phone has going for it. Like I said, it could have been a lot worse for this specific device, and I do think in this day and age it looks perfectly fine as well. It's like 750p, so it's not that high of a resolution. It's also only 60 hertz, but I still think it's a good panel, and if you're in the market for an iPhone that's fairly cheap nowadays, this is not a bad option. Like, it's a pretty cheap iPhone when it comes down to it. On the Samsung Galaxy S23 though, we have a 6.1 inch dynamic AMOLED display. This is by far a much better panel than you're getting on the iPhone 11, so that's probably something to keep in mind. And I'll definitely tell you when it comes down to it, 120 hertz panel, 1080p, higher resolution, higher refresh rate. This is by far the better panel, and it's a hole punch display as well. It really doesn't get too much better than that. So with this phone, definitely gets a thumbs up for me for sure. In terms of the sides, you can kind of tell that for sure. For one, the iPhone 11 is a bigger phone pretty much in every dimension than the Galaxy S23. The sides are a little bit more modern on the Galaxy S23 as well. You can see they're a little bit more flat. On the iPhone 11, they're definitely more curved, so it's probably something to keep in mind. On the back, kind of a different setup as well, but actually it kind of looks kind of the same if you kind of think about it. With the Galaxy S23, we had a triple camera setup going straight down. With the iPhone 11, we had a dual camera setup. On top of that, we had glass backs on both, but the iPhone 11 has a standard glass back, which is pretty much just like a standard slab of glass that you've had on pretty much any phone before. The Galaxy S23 has that more modern frosted glass back, which definitely feels a lot better in my opinion. You also don't have any logo except for the bottom of the Galaxy S23. With the iPhone 11, it's right in the middle, which I actually kind of like it right in the middle. It makes it look a little bit better. And yeah, USB-C on the Galaxy S23. iPhone 11 has a Lightning, IP certification, wireless charging on both. The Samsung Galaxy S23 though does actually have reverse wireless charging, which is a really cool feature. So that in and of itself is a really cool thing that we're getting on the Galaxy S23. But the iPhone 11 still doesn't have. No iPhones basically have it right now. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. Now in terms of software and longevity, the iPhone 11, is probably still going to be supported for the next 2 to 3 years. If you think about it, the iPhone 10 is still supported, the iPhone 10R is still supported, and then the iPhone 11 will be unsupported at some point. So we still have like 2 iPhones that are ahead of this one before they get unsupported. So this is still going to be here for probably a few years. I don't see it getting unsupported before, that much longer, to be honest. But it's still going to be here for quite a bit of time. The Galaxy S23, as I mentioned, for a long period of time. These types of phones are going to be here for a long period of time. I might say they might end up lasting around the same time, though. Maybe the S23 will last a little bit longer. But even then, that just showcases how long iPhones last. And with the iPhone 11, this is going to be an iPhone that's going to be lasting for a long, long period of time. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go into a speed comparison between both these phones. The Galaxy S23 has that Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset inside of it with 8 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 11 has that Apple A13 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go see which one's the faster phone between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background, as you guys can tell. So let's get into it. Phone calls, which I don't even have here. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. You can see pretty much the same thing. Let's go and get into their cameras. 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing too. Let's go and take a photo. Let's go and open up that photo. I think the iPhone 11 was slightly slower a little bit to take the photo, but it was still the same to open up that photo, which is pretty cool. App Store, 3, 2, 1. And you can see a lot of similarity, which is pretty cool. 60 hertz again on the iPhone 11 on the left. And I would definitely say the Galaxy S23 is smoother here. But the iPhone 11, for it being as old as it is, it's doing a tremendous job in my opinion. Hopping out of those specific applications, we have some that are overlapping. Twitter, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Sure, I actually don't know which one is the faster one there. Snapchat, 3. Where's Snapchat? Did I delete Snapchat on here? Snapchat, 3, 2, 1. Okay. I definitely do think the S23 was faster, but the iPhone 11 is actually surprising me quite a bit. Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Galaxy S23, clearly the faster one there. Now I have to open up a game launcher to get into some of these games. So we can try something like Genshin Impact, which is a pretty big game. 3, 2, 1. Now we're just going to get into the loading panel of it, so we're not going to get into actual in-game footage, but that's still been pretty fast on the Galaxy S23, but I think most of my iPhones have been beating it. In this case, I think the iPhone 11 is probably going to be slower. No, it actually was kind of faster if you think about it to get into that panel. That's a pretty surprising thing right there. If we get into another game, if we do Snake versus Blocks, let's go and try that one out. Very small game, 3, 2, 1. A little bit of a delay to open it up on the iPhone 11, but still, like I said, totally okay. And the Galaxy S23 again was the faster one here. Hopping out of this specific application, let's go get into another one. Let's try Thank You, 3, 2, 1. And you can see that the Galaxy S23 was the faster one here as well. Gameplay wise, probably still going to be a lot of overlap, to be honest. So I'm going to do the next one. Let's try Roblox, which I have somewhere. Let's just try Subway Surfers. That's the one I just saw not too long ago. 3, 2, 1. And you can see the Galaxy S23 faster, but the iPhone 11 literally right behind it. Really not that big of a difference at all, which is actually so surprising for a phone like the iPhone 11. We can try another one. We can try Stack, 3, 2, 1. But I think we're kind of seeing a reoccurring trend here. The iPhone 11 is doing a great job. The Galaxy S23 is the faster one, but I'm very surprised how good of a job the iPhone 11 has actually been able to do today. So, in that perspective, thumbs up for both phones in my opinion. Now in the camera department, as I mentioned before, you're getting that triple camera setup on the Galaxy S23. The iPhone 11 is getting that dual camera setup. So we have a wide ultra-wide camera here, wide ultra-wide telephoto lens here. We can do 4K at 60 on the back in front of both these phones, but the Galaxy S23 has that 8K capability on the back of this phone, which is incredible. So that is a really cool thing that we're getting on this phone that we're not getting on the iPhone 11. Now with the iPhone 11's camera, I still think this is a pretty solid lens. I think for sure, no matter really what you're going to do, it's going to be able to handle most things. It is missing a telephoto lens, so you're only getting 5x zoom, which I think is totally okay. But I do think for a majority of people out there, the iPhone 11's camera still is totally normal. It's an older phone, so you have to remember that. It's not the latest phone. It's not supposed to be competing with the S23. But I still think this is a pretty good phone, and no matter what you're going to do, it's probably going to be okay. So I think the iPhone 11's camera, even on applications like Snapchat and TikTok and things like that, are going to be handling very well there. The Galaxy S23, like this camera, there's just no competition here. The S23 is clearly the better camera in my opinion. So you're getting that 0.5x zoom, you're getting 30x zoom, which is insane. So you're getting a lot of capability on something like the Galaxy S23. You're also getting portrait video, but you're also getting a lot more modes under this more option. So that is something that is really cool on something like the Galaxy S23. So I say that to say the Galaxy S23's camera is definitely better overall in my opinion than the iPhone 11. And I'd probably argue that the Galaxy S23 is overall the better phone than the iPhone 11. But I still love the iPhone 11, it's a great phone. But this phone is supposed to be better. It's supposed to be the better phone in every single area. You're getting a better display, better build quality, better performance, better cameras, probably better battery life as well. Like this is a better phone in general, but it's also more expensive. The iPhone 11 from 2019 did a really good job. I still think this phone holds up decently well compared to the newest competition. Again, this is supposed to be like a budget tier phone today. It's like barely $300. But this is a pretty good phone. So if you have this phone, just know it handles up kind of okay against the S23. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.